Welcome everybody. Happy to see you in our webinar. We are starting here thematic webinar on smart villages. And my name is Ave Bremse. I'm coming from Estonian Rural Network unit. And this is the second webinar about our neighbors. We had in May Finnish experience about smart villages. Today's topic is Latvian experience and vision about smart villages. So smart villages is interesting, how to say, vision, or can we call it program or whatever. It's having lots of similarities, but also some differences country by country. Today, so I show you. I share the screen to introduce our participants, our speakers today, and we are eager to go to listen Latvian experience and vision. We start with Andra Karlsone from Latvian Ministry of Agriculture. Then follows Zanda Dimanta Svilpe from Rural Network Unit. Then we go listening stories and project and practices from Daiga Galnina, Krista Andersson Grumina, and Eva Yatnice. Some technical words that our online is going for Zoom participants. Zoom participants can keep cameras on, but please keep your microphones muted. Questions you can ask in the end of presentations. And then you can or find this raise hand or put some also comments or question to the chat. We try to also follow the chat. I also welcome YouTube participant, and your part is more or less to follow. This will be recorded and you can look it also after today. The link to this recorded webinar will be available in our website, and also we will send this link to registered participants. Also, we put to our website these presentations we have today. And we can say also thank you for video transmission to Erik Löper from our team. And now, as we try to keep no more than 1 hour and a half, but there is lots of presentations to go, I will give floor to Andra Karlsone. And so if you are ready, I know that you are doing cooperation between. I stop sharing the screen. And so, and please, Andra's presentation.
Yes, thank you, Ave. Zanda will help me. Yes, good morning, everybody. Thank you for the invitation. It is pleasure to share our experience about smart villages. And today I am going to give you a short insight what we are planning in Latvia for smart villages within the framework of the Common Agriculture Policy Strategic Plan. Next slide. As you know, CAP Strategic Plan is the basic document for next programming period. And now we have prepared the draft. And yesterday it was published for public discussions. And now we are waiting for opinions from institutions, organizations. So, but actually we started the development of a strategic plan already 2 years ago, when we organized regional seminars where we discussed about local needs and challenges that we have to solve in future. So, and then we organized thematic groups, every specific objective separate, and there was one special thematic group on rural areas. And we had 5 meetings, and in this group we discussed about the needs and challenges and future priorities, as well framework of the leader approach, the main activities, conditions, which is related direct to develop rural areas, to yes, to give support. So one of the topic was smart villages, of course, and we discussed, is it necessary to set a specific activity targeting smart village development, but we agreed that very often if there is support for some activity, then there is interest to get this support. But when it ends, so does the initiative. And maybe we have already smart, strong communities, which are good examples for others. And today you will hear them too. And these communities started their work without funding, but with strong willingness to come together and tackle some issues important to them. And in Latvia, we have seen that if a good thing is implemented somewhere, it is very quickly taken over and implemented elsewhere. And good things inspire, but of course it is necessary to find strong leaders, and some facilitators are needed as well to get started these initiatives. And so our national rural network has a good experience as they inspired and helped to form Smart Village Alsunga. Today, they both share their story and experience. So, and as Smart Village is initiative in a local level, then the closest partner, of course, is a local action group. And leader is important instrument for local development, which has proven their effectiveness. So the LAG knows their territory best and can inspire and promote to start this initiative of a smart village in their territory as well. So we decided that smart villages or smart village development will be a part of local development strategy. And for example, in the strategy, a local action group can set a specific activity for smart villages as well. They will be able to set criteria to give higher aid intensity to these initiatives by smart villages, related to smart villages. At the moment, there isn't definition and criteria for smart villages in national level. Maybe later during preparation of national regulation for leader support, it will be necessary to define, but at the moment there isn't. So next slide. Yes, very quickly, I try to share our structure of leader in next programming period, as a Smart Village initiative is part of it. And there will be, the total budget will be 10% of European Agricultural Fund Rural Development Funding, but there will be two envelopes. One envelope, 80% of total budget for leader will be implemented as classical leader activities similar this period. And there will be two directions or two activities. One of them will support non-agriculture entrepreneurship, and as well creation or improvement of marketplaces, shops, online stores, or digital trading platforms. But a second activity will be related to public benefit projects, and there we think that a Smart Village initiatives is part of this activity. And there will be as well co-working spaces, one of initiative, which is a good tool for smart villages as well. And Krista today will tell more about co-working space in Leeuwarden. And then there will be some support for youth initiatives. It will be lump sum, and as well, of course, cooperation projects implemented by local action groups. So the second envelope, or 20% of total leader budget, will be implemented separately as strategic projects developed by a local action group together with municipalities, farmers, food processing companies, and caterers. So, and the aim is to promote short food supply chains, and including provision of green public procurement. And so, how I told in strategy, specific actions can be set based on local needs, and local action groups as well can increase support intensity by setting criteria. And one of the possibilities to set a smart village like criteria to increase support intensity, as well as they can reduce the maximum amount of eligible costs. And up to 17% of strategy's budget, local action group can use for running and animation. And it is so that we continue to implement a multi-fund approach. This community-led local development approach we implement by European Fishery Fund as well. So if local action groups will get support from both funds, then Fishery Fund will be as lead fund, and LAG will get support for running and animation for Fishery Fund. So, we are planning to start to select local action groups and to develop new strategies next year. So we hope everything will happen in on time, and in 2023 already we will be able to start this frame or this leader activities, and supported by new period funding. And yes, so I let you hear more about practical examples. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Andra. If anybody has quick question, I have some quick comments here before we can give floor to Latvian Rural Network Unit. It was very nice to hear that indeed leader is inspiration for smart villages. I thinking the role of leader, and if people said that smart villages is very similar to leader, yes, of course similarities, but also we should look it wider. Because if we're talking about digital development, maybe transport ideas, bioeconomy, then we need also other funds, also youth work. But leader groups as inspirations, it sounds really good. And also I agree with you that this definition, country by country, it should be keep open and step by step. Let's see. So we have different examples of definition. I looked them before this today, and I thought that just some keyword that what we have again, that to use all sources you have smartly. And I'm happy that you will join also Fishery Fund with smart villages. This is something we should do here as well. So do we want to comment something? So here is a question from Denmark, from Kirsten. Kirsten, do you want to ask it? What is higher intensity aid? Okay. Kirsten's question is, what is higher intensity aid?
Okay, yes, it is so that we decided for next programming period to set minimum aid intensity, for example, 70% per project. And if a local action group decided that the smart village is specific and important for them, for this territory, and they want to encourage this initiative, then they can increase support intensity for project, for example, till 90%. Because the maximum is 90%, and then such projects will get higher aid intensity.
So shortly to say, they can get more funding.
More funding, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So thank you. And yes, Kirsten, here we have much more higher support rates than in Denmark, I know, so don't be very much surprised. Thank you, Andra. Maybe some questions or comments in the end. I give floor to Zanda Dimantas Svilpe. So, and you are ready already, and please, Zanda.
Thank you.
The floor is your, what is going on and how you support smart villages activities or planning from Latvian Rural Network, please.
Thank you, Abed. Do you see my presentation? Yeah, but it's
yes,
okay.
We can present and see presentation, and we can also, I can see you as well. So thank you, go on.
Thank you. Dear colleagues on the Estonian National Rural Network, thank you for this event where it is possible to share Latvia's experience. My name is Anna Dimants-Vilpe, and I'm representative of the Latvian Rural Network Support Unit. In the following presentation, I will briefly tell about our work with the active communities in Latvia. About 4 years ago, we started to work with villages and active communities, but our work has always been about the rural population. And we know that Europe's rural areas are changing, and we know that it involves risks, but also it gives opportunities to play a new and different role. And we really believe that this is a story about smart villages. In Latvia too, we believe that smart villages are communities that are looking for innovative solutions to the challenges they face. And we know that smart village is like a symbolic term, meaning that the village does not have to be taken literally. It is a concept including communities that are ready to take the initiative to find practical solutions that the community faces. And it is very interesting that many do it in different ways, and the communities take a greater responsibility for the challenges they face in their territory. We believe that the precondition for rural areas to continue to succeed in the future is that villages must be inhabited, and we must make every effort to make it so. The National Rural Network implements an individual approach in working with the smart villages. And we believe that the individual approach is very important for that. And currently we work with 3 villages. And Alsunga was the first village we started to work. And I must mention that Alsunga indeed is a very special place. Alsunga is a very special village with a very special cultural and historical heritage, whose uniqueness has been recognized by UNESCO. Alsunga has unusual cultural identity in which Latvian, Livonian, German, and Polish cultures are mixed in. And it is very interesting that it has played a huge role in local laws and customs. And locals hold to their cultural and historical values, but they are quite open at the same time. They are quite open to the modern challenges. And Alsunga is one of the 21 European villages that was selected for participation in the international project called Smart Rural 21. And later you will hear a presentation from the leader of Alsunga Smart Village, who will tell you more about the achievements of the local community. The second one was Skaistkalna Kurmen Smart Village, and there are 2 neighboring territories and communities that have agreed in one smart village. And it's interesting that there is a river Mēmele, and this river is very important for the local community, which also unites in joint activities with our neighboring country, Lithuania. And also there is a significant cultural and historical heritage in which both German and Polish people have had a huge influence. And there is a very active community, and they also have many ideas to be implemented. And this village participates in the come along activity of the project I mentioned before, Smart Rural 21, supported by European Commission. And the third one is Bērze, a smart village, and it is located in the central part of Latvia, and the history of which is very connected with the founder of the Latvian, one of the founders of the Latvian state, called Kārlis Ulmans. And here are both his family home and his first school. And also there is resources for development of tourism, and certainly not forgetting about the local producers. On National Rural Network, we believe that smart village approach is identity driving process. And we help the local community to identify its strengths, weaknesses, or opportunities. And we help to set goals and tasks, taking into account the resources available in the local territory. And we help to find solutions to the challenges they face. And when we work with villages, we always try to support the local community by providing with necessary tools to achieve the set goals, like help to move forward. Of course, I should mention local action groups of Latvia, which do an important work with active communities. And local action groups are implementing leader cooperation projects and supporting creation of smart villages. And also, National Rural Network cooperates with local action groups in this process. And later you will hear two interesting examples from local action groups. So National Rural Network is also very active in the Smart Rural 21 project, supported by the European Commission, with the overall aim to promote and inspire villages to develop and develop smart villages. And as I mentioned also, there is one of the villages who was selected for participation in this international project. And I'm the national expert on Smart Rural 21 and also on Smart Rural 27 project. And the overall objective of the Smart Rural 27 is to prepare member states and rural communities for the implementation of the Common Agricultural Policy post year 2020. So, and these projects provide good experience and knowledge in smart villages, both locally and internationally. This picture is from a warm summer day when a market created by the also Smart Village gathered people from all over of Latvia. And you know, they are very proud of it. And we really believe that Smart Village is essentially identity driving process. And before choosing the future guidelines and directions of development, it is very important to be aware of the identity of local people, of local territory. And people want to live better, and all efforts must be made for that. And it is good to see that people appreciate what is done, and they are very grateful for the opportunities created. So let it be. Thank you for attention.
Thank you, Zanda. It was really interesting and inspiring to look to these initiatives. And I actually we all cannot wait until this COVID crisis is over, that we can start some joint thematic groups or do study tours to look each other's. So I wanted to ask that do you plan some thematic groups or discussion groups? But I think you will anyway. But we don't know how long it all will do. So definitely, smart village has no limits. There should be place for smaller or bigger rural tourism or a bioeconomy and all these kind of things. And thank you for inspiration for us. So here is, I look to the chat, and here is from Kirsten from Denmark, that so good that it works. So yes, agree, let it be. So thank you, Kirsten. When this COVID will be over, you are also welcome to join us and inspire us. So thank you. If there will be some questions after we move on with the presentations, and you mentioned the Smart Village project participant and already very smart, as I see from pictures, Alsunga. So Taiga Kalniņa, are you ready for presentation? So thank you.
Yes.
I can see your presentation. So can we hear you too? And the floor is yours. Thank you.
Yes. Hello, everyone. And it's nice to meet so much people who are interested in smart villages. And I will tell a little bit about Alsunga Smart Village, and it will be not everything what is done, but just maybe main points. And so, as Anders said, we are a very small place, and before July 1st, we was the second smallest municipality in Latvia, and then we had a reform, and now we are part of a larger municipality. And later you can see this presentation and scan QR code and see the short movie, 10 minutes in English, what we are and what we are doing. And all this territory is approximately 1,020, 1,000 or 1,200 or 1,300 inhabitants, but no one knows the exact number because some are living in capital and just declared their living place in Alsunga because they are proud that they are from Suiti with this specific cultural background. So Alsunga and surrounding is included in UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage list, and it's a good opportunity and in the same time challenge too. And our approach is that smart village, it is not status or endpoint, but rather a process and road on which we are moving along. And we started on February 2018 when Latvian Rural Advisory and Training Center asked maybe we want to be the pilot village, and we asked what it means, and they said no money, but a lot of other impact like talks and discussions and training. And so we agreed to become this smart village, and then start to gather team, because it's not impossible to make some village smart only with some people, but some people must start and then gather team. And our approach was that we asked to all NGOs, to active people to participate in discussions and to understand this background. In Alsunga we have 22 NGOs, and it is a very big amount, and more than half of them are really very active in Suiti culture and other things according with local needs. And then we started to come together each month, and then developed the WhatsApp group and started to talk every day with ideas. And now we are 45 active people who are and who participate in this everyday communication and planning and realizing these ideas. Of course, it gave us a result, but now we are, I think, on the top. But the question is to which side this ball will go. Will we push this ball and it will become bigger and bigger and include more people with their ideas, or we will stop for some years here on top, or maybe this ball will go back? I hope no. But COVID gave impact on activity, on how people feel and how active they want to participate. And it's quite hard if you can't meet and talk, but must use this Zoom. And what has done so far, I think the biggest thing is Sweetie Market. We started with environmental actions where we cleaned the environment and make it nicer for local people and for tourists, and then started to think why we are doing a lot of job for others and nothing from that for us. And then we started to think how to say it, how to take money from tourists. And then the idea was to make a local market, because the main road to seashore is going through the village, and on weekends there is a lot of cars which are going to this seaside. And then we decided that we must stop them in Alsunga. And the idea was to make Sweetie Market with local food and crafts, and make it as every week festival where our family can come and spend time. So we started it on June 2020, and on very short period this market raised very big. We started with, I think, 20 traders, and now we have every Sunday from 30 to 70 traders. And our contributors are approximately 200, but they are changing. One is going, for example, once a month, others are going every Sunday to offer their goods. And all this was possible because volunteers worked to make Facebook marketing, to organize all these infrastructure things, but after one season we understand that it's too hard to work on voluntary principles, and discussed it with municipality and started to divide these jobs. Municipality started to organize infrastructure and other administrative processes, and we as volunteers still keep this Facebook marketing and ideas how to develop this market. Then we think what we can do for small businesses, and decided that there that the co-working place is necessary, because not everyone wants to meet their clients in their own home, but their business is not so big to rent the office. And we find a place in local library, and then started to talk with municipality, and they gave us 100 euros. So we made this room more nicer, more comfortable for entrepreneurs. And this co-working joy, I would say, is the main thing which push up forward. So it's these meetings and trainings and sharing ideas and developing these ideas. And you can see for one inspiration, these nice dresses. Suiti have these national costumes, but they are very heavy and more suitable for autumn and winter time. But these last 2 summers was very hot, and it was impossible to wear these costumes on Suiti market. And then local craftsmen made new dresses, very similar to national costumes, but with modern colors and very easy to wear in hot summer days. And then we think more about these small businesses and based on Suiti culture and tourism, and made walking trails, including in all these trails some local entrepreneurs which are offering food or hotel or things like that, and put all these trails on internet like GPX files that everyone can download them in specific apps and come and use, and not to look for paper booklets. And you are welcome. You can scan code and look on these trails and come to Alsunga to use them. And then we think about services which is necessary, and make a survey to identify potential small businesses. And the other thing we did based on this, that there are people who want to come to live to Alsunga, but there is no empty flats or houses if you are looking on internet. And then some activists started to offer their help to put information on internet to help for these empty houses and flats to find the new inhabitants. And then school was another direction where we started to help to improve this environment with different small things like what you see in a video, and with reordering classroom more suitable for collaboration and other things. And then COVID started, and one programmer, you can see in middle of this picture, started to live in Alsunga. He came from Riga, and he chose this place for living because the smart village is here and people are active. And he found us and offered free programming training. And in this time we had a problem that borders was closed, and a lot of tourists started to come to Alsunga, and it was not time to give them everything they want. For example, they are asking what we can do with children, or where we can buy your specific pie sklandrausis, and you know who is making this, but it's 15 people, and it's not time to start to call to everyone. And so we, during this programming training, developed the app for tourism entrepreneurs, so we can easy collaborate and see who still have bread or sklandrausis or other things, just to send to right place in very short time, these tourists. And then we was excited with this programming and decided to make a second programming training. And in this training, a lot of pupils participated, and we made augmented reality for school, and you can try later this by scanning this code with dinosaur in middle, and then look on this letter to see what we made. And now the third programming training is ongoing, and on this time the topic is IoT and artificial intelligence, and we will try to solve some problems by programming some IoT. So, and the last one that I want to say is what we have learned so far from this process, that if village want to become smart, this village needs at least one leader who will start this process and ask others to participate. And if you have a lot of ideas, but there are no at least one leader who wants to start to realize at least one idea, this will stay ideas, not smart village. And all plans are important, but if you have too much plans, then people start feel that they are working for free, not for joy and for themselves. So the long-term vision is a good idea, but plans is better short-term and flexible, how to go to this long-term vision. And it's a very, very important thing is the sense of belonging to the community, and good things to achieve it is common job and common training and common excursions, and just common sitting around the fire and just drinking beer or some other things. So you have a common joys, common jokes, and common memories. And money is necessary, but if you will start by developing projects with big money, you rather lost this smart village idea, and it will be some short-term project as others, not this common sense of belonging and working together. And it's very good to meet others and look on their solutions and ideas, but you don't need the same ideas. You have your own problems, and it could be inspiration, not the only one recipe how to solve and how to become smart. And I want to show you a small video for some seconds, and I think this video is like anthem of Alsunga of Smart Village, and the main idea on this text they are singing is that every people need the heart which to trust. So, and the trust between each other is the main thing to make common ideas become alive. Thank you.
Thank you, Daiga. It was really inspirational and very interesting to see. And again, I cannot say that how much I want to join you. We had already some comments from Finland, from Salla Patila from Finnish network, that she is also very ready to cooperate and do some common actions. yes, it's very important from your presentation that be visible that when we can open our villages and towns for more and more visitors after this COVID period, then good communication is really important, and this here is something or a leader group or project can assist small producers or also to networking these things together. And my suggestion to you, until we are in Zoom and in webinars worlds, that use this time to activate people who are not usually coming to these seminars, what you're doing face to face. I noticed that in somehow is more easy to involve somebody, young people or somebody who usually said that, I don't know, they have their own team already, maybe I belong there, that to invite them with new fresh ideas, and this is only thing. So again, nice comments from Denmark, that good presentation, small questions, 100 euros from the municipality for the co-working place. Can you?
I see the question. Yes, it means that municipality is still funding this place. They are paying for electricity because it's in library. But this room was quite empty. No one used this room. And we offered our free time and asked from municipality 100 euros for color and for teapot and to make this place comfortable to entrepreneurs. But they are still using this Wi-Fi and printer, but coming with their own laptop. But if they want, they can take library's laptop to use. But mostly the question is, if you want to meet the clients or work, you need the comfortable place, and we made this comfortable place. So and it was I think if municipality will ask to someone to do this, it will cost, I think, 2,000 euros for this job. But we did this job, and materials was 100 euros.
Yeah. Thank you, Daiga. There is another question from Kirsten before that all these cars going for the coast, how can you stop here or there, cars and coastlines, and maybe you have some good tricks for to do.
This trick is this Suiti market, because all previous tricks doesn't work. Or marketing about Suiti culture and other things. And when they started to stop on this market, then they was surprised that there are so much things what to do in Alsunga, because usually it is not main street. It's a big street, but not going through center, where is all these cultural things like church and others. So they thought that it's something very small and uninteresting. And when they started to stop and talk with locals, sitting and drinking beer and eating soup and listening all this Suiti music and for children, there was a lot of things to do. Then they started to talk and interested. And now after 1 year, we see that they stopped to park their cars in this marketplace, because there is not enough place where to park all these cars who wants to stop. But they found that there is other 3 parking places, and it's only 5 minutes walking from everyone. from them, and started to walk through Alsunga and look on other things. And yes, we are very sorry that this COVID situation didn't allow us to make this, how to say, festival stopped and started only market in this year. But no one said that singers can stay and sing and asking money for singing. So it was not allowed to sing in markets, but it was allowed to solve your skills. So we can't offer this place for children. It's not allowed, but singers came by their own initiative every Sunday with a hat on street and sing and play music, and tourists still stopped and listened and bought everything. So yeah, sometimes you need to be creative how to compare these laws and real situation.
Thank you, Daiga. 1 hour is gone and 2 more presentations are waiting for us. We get very enthusiastic and very inspired by your so stay with us, and maybe we have some small discussion in the end. But now I ask Krista Andersson-Krumina, and she will talk about the LEADER Transnational Cooperation Project about smart villages, and who is your partners and what are you doing. So, Krista, are you ready for presentation? So I can see your
presentation. Yes, you can see my presentation.
So, yes, we can see and hear you, please. Go ahead.
Yes, hello again. My name is Krista Andersson-Krumina, and I'm working on a local action group called Ziedzeme, or in English we call it Land in Bloom. And yes, today I will talk about a LEADER Transnational Cooperation project called Smart Villages LEADER Network. And you can see also the hashtag sign, and in Latvian it's Viedais ciems, but in English it's called Smart Village. So you know that the hashtag is Smart Village. Yes, so yeah, I can talk about a little bit about the project. So the aim of the project, the main aim is to exchange of good practices related with smart local development, and of course identify ways how we can add value in our rural territories based on the exchanged practices and also their existing strengths and assets. Together we are 7 partners. 3 partners are from Latvia. It's us. It's also a local action group called Pierīgas partnerība, and other local action group called Jūras zeme, sea and land in English. And also we have a partner from Greece, 1 partner from Scotland, and 2 partners also from Finland. On the beginning of October, we went also on the Greece. We went on our second study trip, and the first study trip was to Scotland in 2019. Because of the pandemic, we went on the second study trip only this year on October. And the next study trip will be in Latvia next spring, and then we will finally go also in Finland to see how they are developing smart villages there. So because of the pandemic, we couldn't just sit down and just wait when we will go on a study trip. And that is why our Latvian partners came together and thought about the digital campaign called My Village is a Smart Village, where all our territory villages could participate, applying digital campaign, and and we could see how much smart villages are in our territories. But because it was a digital campaign, it went a little bit on a national level. So basically, because of that, we had 38 participants from all Latvia. So basically, you can see that 38 villages in Latvia are thinking about smart village concept, and they are trying to make things better for them. And we had our criteria, we had also a jury, and together they decided from the applications in the digital format, they came together, and that is why at the end we had 3 categories. Basically, who just get the I don't know, it's in English, it's not like a status smart village, but it's like the sign when they are using like smart village approach. And we also had a category at the end on the way of the smart village. And also for the for 5 participants, we just gave them a thank you sign for the participating, because there were quite a lot to do, but they are at the beginning. So together, 12 villages in Latvia developed the smart village concept in that level. So they just took the smart village sign with them, and there are a lot of villages who are on the way. But I think in a few years they will also be smart villages, and we will hear from them in a quite good level. But the publicity was basically on social media. On the picture, you can see that there were a lot of different posts also from the villages, and there you can see that there is a smart village Tarnikava, and they are ready to be smart, and they published on social media, please, we are applying on this digital campaign, and we want to be a smart village, we are doing this and that. And we through the social media, we took all Latvia's attention, not only citizens, but also ministries, television, newspapers, and so on. And also you can see that publicity through the newspapers, and there were not only like villages where are young people and progressive people, but there are also village where seniors come together and develop their territory. Also, you can see there were a lot of generations participating and making collaboration through the villages, and also publicity through the television. But it was after the digital campaign, we came together and drove to 2 villages from our Land in Bloom territory, and you can see most of them on the left side. They are the community, and they are developing their own or their own like some kind of brand through the tourism. And also you can see I'm with the publicity sign, and I also took it to the Greece. So we are very proud of this project, and we are just like talking a bit about it all the time. But the main conclusions, I think that the local action groups has a very positive involvement to develop a smart village concept, and through the local action groups, it is the best way to talk about smart village concepts, so the people and the citizens understand what is the smart village concept. Because now I'm saying that it's like the way of thinking, not some kind of result or status, but it's just a way of thinking, and it just like comes naturally. So we are developing our territory, and through that we became smart. And also we need to continue such a campaign and organize other events about smart village concept, but maybe could be on a national level through the national organizations, and so we can because in our local action group we have our small territory, but we would be very happy that the campaign would also continue on a national level, and it would be very great that we could organize some kind of conference where all the politicians, local communities, academics, and local action groups come together and think about the smart village concept in Latvia. As I was on Slovenian local action group forum, when they talk about the smart village concept, and they are all together thinking about the one definition on that national level, I think it would be very great that in Latvia we could also come together and talk and learn from each other, and see what we can do to develop a smart village concept in Latvia as it is developing in other countries. And I think for me that's all. But I'm very glad that I could be part of this seminar and share our experience, and because of this project and the study trips and other experience, like we are learning ourselves through the social media, through YouTube, through all the other projects, we are learning about the smart village concept, and it's very important that we talk about the smart village concept and share our experience and our knowledge to others, to the local citizens, and also national level, and so on. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Krista. It is very inspirational. I can see also from chat that somebody say it's thank you for this inspiration. And maybe like two things I pick from here. That one is this transnational cooperation, your tool as a leader group, as an activator, and the other thing you showed us, it was these generations, and also to thinking about them, because maybe these elderly ladies who are quite a number inhabitants in rural areas, that they also feel themselves involved. They are maybe not big users of internet, and they are maybe not very keen to traveling, but you also find the place for them. So it's really like two sides. And indeed, again, that step-by-step development is important. That if we can see now the map of how to say, starting with 10 or 20 or 30 villages or things that good examples can involve more places and more activities. So it was really nice. So I think yes, again, Kristen from Denmark, super presentations, lot of useful experience. Thanks. Do you somehow, can you read the Kirsten question that, can you pass?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Ave. Yeah, thanks
Yes.
a lot. It was just, do you relate the leader method to the smart village approach? I mean, do you see what are the similarities? What are the differences? And then also, is it okay if I pass on the contact information of Krista to some of the Danish lags? I'm sure they could use this. Thanks a lot.
Can you answer this?
I stopped to share screen. Thank you very much, Kirsten, for the questions. Yes, in some ways, the smart village approach is very similar to leader approach, and that is why also in Latvia they are thinking about how to develop smart villages through the leader method, because basically it's the same. Also, our local action group wants to develop also businesses and entrepreneurs, and how they can use some also methods to develop their business. And it's the same. They develop the territory, and how we can do the co-working spaces also in rural areas. We can develop the smart village concept, and then they can use the co-working space to just come together, share their experience through all the seminars and other activities. And yes, I didn't mention the co-working spaces, but now I'm also in a co-working space called Collabora Lielvārde, and it's also one of the first co-working spaces in rural areas, which we also developed through the leader approach transnational cooperation project, and we also, as a local action group, we are using this leader approach so we can develop the local territories, not only giving the money, but also participating in projects and become through the international knowledge, we can just share our experience here in Latvia and our little communities, and together we develop through the leader approach our territories together. And yes, you can also share the contacts if you need, and I can share the experience. And also, I'm seeing Lauma from Latvian Rural Network, and they also helped us to develop this digital campaign. And through them, we from the little territory, we became on a national level, thanks to them also.
Thank you, Krista. We move on, but I make one comment here, or repeat myself, that I find the leader and smart village is quite similar, but I can repeat myself that smart villages is wider, because leader money is not enough for all these lots of problems like digitalization. There is definitely need very large investments, and if people are talking about bioeconomy or this kind of things, but leader is activator indeed. So thank you for this, and we should go on. Ieva, you and your presentation about the story of community network Celia Islands. Ieva Jatnice, are you here?
Yes,
Yes,
I am
can
here.
see you and your presentation. Please, floor is yours.
Yes, thank you. So my name is Ieva, and today I am very happy to tell you a story about islands of Celia and about our journey to the smart region. At the first, I want to say, something is not going. Yes. At the first, I would like to mention it's not real islands. Estonia have islands, not Latvia. And Celia are not even a coastal region. It's a region in the southeast of Latvia. It's sparsely inhabited with constantly decreasing population. There are no cars coming to seaside like Alsunga. It's not a touristic region at all. Really very, very sparsely inhabited. And then there are islands. And islands are inhabited settlements among forests, meadows, and swamps. And all of us know that vastness are growing day by day in rural areas. And the world of human life are shrinking day by day. And all of us are in the middle of it. Even today, we are in the middle of it. So what to do? We must think about what can we do with it. And our first step was TCL project, Islands of Celia. It's leader project and was implemented by 3 legs. Project included 70 islands. It's small settlements which was ready to learn, to act, and to create their own products of rural tourism. I would like to mention another time there wasn't plenty of tourists in Celia in 2017. We started almost from 0 point. Let's go. So after 2 years of work in the project, there was a final conference, but it didn't feel like the end. It felt exactly like the beginning. New connections between different people are established. New products were created. More and more islanders are starting to turn, say, hobbies to small businesses, very small businesses, but anyway. We had taken part in the most important tour exhibition in Latvia, and we are recognized by our tour agencies and professionals. The flow of local tourism to Australia was significantly rising in the summer of 2019. And now our visitors could hold advertising material produced by Islands of Australia and their hands. And also coffee breaks for the same final conference were very proudly provided by 2 ladies, now the owners of freshly registered catering company, thanks to the project. And there weren't many stories like how good it was to be in the project. It was, of course, it's always good to be in such project. But more, there were questions like, what do we do next? And how can I join this network? Of course, we were very proud about this. And yes, of course, we are a very dedicated project team. And I would like to mention project manager. You can see her, lady in red scarf, Diana Aluzane. Without her, always doing the best, always doing with love, and always keep in mind the need of islanders. This success would not be possible. And after that, a project team left local luck. But for the islanders, that meant quite little. People kept calling, asking questions, giving suggestions, asking for some new activities, for seminars, asking for project consultations, for more events. So there was no choice. We started to work as an independent volunteering team. And in February of 2020, an agreement of cooperation among already 20 islands was prepared and signed. And the leading role was delegated to NGO Ūdenszīmes. It's organization I am leading, one of the most experienced NGOs in our regions. And by summer, new projects were created and granted. And the network kept growing. During the lockdown of last winter, it was a very hard time in Latvia. More like half a year, we are closed and working from homes, from anywhere. And also there was territorial reform in the local governments. Very hard time. People are seeking for some vision, for something good, for inspiration. So we created plenty of new projects for the network, and it included already 26 islands. Also, our team grew. We were joined by 3 young, inspired professionals. And in March of this year, we registered our NGO, Islands of Australia. So we worked through this summer, and by the October, we have already 32 communities in our network. What have we done? We have done local tourist markets. Remember, I mentioned Australia wasn't tourism region in 2017, far from it. But now we have possibility to organize even local tourist markets. We organized plenty of cultural events, plenty with good advertising, nice visual identity. We created new tourism roads, adventurous, surprising, and so on. We was very active in social media, and still are. You can look at us in social media. We created a web page about our region. There are stories about symbols of Stelia, about language of Stelia, of course about beautiful places in Stelia, stories about communities, about business traditions and products, and so on. And then during this summer, we created a special marks of identity for 26 of our islands. It was very serious work, very serious. We asked all of communities in what way they think, about what they speak, what do they like. And so a special identities for 26 islands. Great job done this summer. But it's not the most important. The most important is when we asked our islanders, has there been any significant economical growth in the region within 2 years? Are we living better now? Do we have a good life? And 29 out of 32 islands give a positive answer. Yes, we are living better now and we live a good life. But if we have a look at the numbers of economical growth or the rise of incomes in a household, this picture wouldn't be surprising. No. They will show only insignificant rise that was already eaten up by impact of COVID restrictions and the rising prices of fuel and electricity. So that's the self-esteem that is rising visibly and convincingly. We are living a good life in a good place, and in our hands it is to make it better. We are the islanders of Stelia, not simply groups of humans in a vastness. And now, with this sentence, the journey to the smart region is picking up its speed. At the first, there are smart villages in all of this. In fact, this have been in our hot topics since 2018, maybe even earlier. Always in minds, always in our discussions. Our first quest was to find out a simple definition. Like Andrea mentioned, there was no definitions for smart villages, official definition in Latvia. And so this was the first task for us. Of course, we discussed it with people, so you can see what people say. What's the devices? We need the normal roads, we need the jobs, schools and services, not these devices. Why? And if everyone in our village is sitting with their nose in smartphones, does it make us smart? No, it doesn't make you smart. So we find out some definitions. That the smart village is a community capable of self-organizing. Smart village, it's a community with a vision. Smart village, it's a community with a strong and sound voice. Those definitions are understandable for our people and for us, of course. So after that, we are seeking what makes a community smart. It's knowledge of resources, of people, of culture, of history. It's knowledge of their place on the map. It's geographical map, historical map, and so on. It's the self-knowledge, of course. And sometimes the smartest solution is to forget all of it and go ahead with a brave vision. And after that, another quest appears for a leading team that makes a region smart. And what's our perfect solution for our region, for Stelia? So, and there comes the spring of this year. Like Krista already told us, there was a first call for smart villages in Latvia. Yes. Is it for us? Of course, we started with discussions with our communities. And there are from discussions. Diana Alžāne said, Celia is a blanket woven in a fine, even pattern without one central ornament. Our blanket is rich in elements of pattern. That's the special identity of our region. And this identity we should cherish with equal care for all communities, not one central community. Benita said, I already see Celia as a smart region. And Liga said, if we have a network backing us, then we are ready to go, whatever happens. So 7 communities from our network submitted applications for this competition. 3 of them are recognized as smart villages. If there are only 12 in Latvia, then 3 from our region, we are proud of it. Another 3 got certificates on the way to the smart village. And so there was no choice one more time, and the strategy for Celia as a smart region is on our desktops now. So, key messages from our story for us and for you. First column consists of awareness that lakes are not only and maybe not even the best implementers of smart villages movement. It's a provocation a little bit, I see, but it's not an insult, it's just awareness. Because LEADER program has turned its face to small business and bureaucracy, as we can see. And plenty of rural activists are left out of LEADER support in the last 4 years. We feel it very badly from people. Yes, it's told very often that we are no more for LEADER. We can't create projects for LEADER. These elderly ladies, for example. No. And Smart Village movement provides actions just for them. And there are awareness. Will LEADER strategies for the next period allow to include all the necessary support? Will it allow flexibility? Will it allow innovations, which are essential for smart villages? It's just awareness. How do we solve it? Then there are tips for workers with smart villages movement. At the first, don't hesitate to make the smart European definitions simple. People must understand these definitions. After, don't prepare projects, build movements and raise the flows that's sustainable. And always listen to people you are working for. They are the centerpiece of all your movements, and they are the water for your flows. We are not working with programs. We are working with people, first of all. And there are conclusions that nothing serious is made without any deep understanding, without dedicated work, and without true love, of course. So, thank you, and be ready for a never-ending journey. Thanks.
Thank you, Eva. It was a very nice presentation, lots of thoughts. I more than agree. So I open floor for some small discussion. I hope that some people can stay with us for some more comments, and please raise your hands who wants to ask something. Maybe we can hear some voices. By my side, yes, Eva, I very much agree with you that, and we told already that we should look a lot wider than only LEADER program. LEADER is activator here. We can start with LEADER. And we also here in Estonia thinking how to involve other ministries, environment, educational, what else, cultural, practically all the menu. Absolutely. social and so on. So, and all these vision and all these things, and also that not every member state could have their own definition and all your path to think time to time about this definition, but also every village or maybe group of villages have their own way, because they may go only just for some small steps. They don't want need, and bigger region wants it, like to say, full menu. So please, who has some comments for the end? Please give your hand. I can see from chat there was interesting discussion from Estonian, how to say, rural developer Kuno Keskela, who mentioned here that indeed initiative leaders of ideas should be paid, because without salary we cannot go too far for too long. And I think that everybody also agrees. And Kirsten, you write it here. Maybe you want to ask, can we hear your voice again, or should I read it here?
Hi, Ava. Kirsten here. Yeah, thanks. It's actually mainly just support, and I think it's fantastic what you've done. So best of luck with the continuation, to actually hear what people need and want and follow that instead of putting people into boxes that's created already. That's fantastic. And that's the main thing. The only little question was the project you created and granted, was that black money or was that from the municipality? But the rest was, thanks a lot. That was really inspirational. Thanks.
So thank you, Kirsten. It's nice to hear from you and see you again, even through Zoom. But projects granted are not from leader. No one is from leader. It's from Active Citizen Fund and other funds from civil society and so on, but nothing from leader. And very small amount from municipalities, very small. It's other funding, and of course plenty of volunteering work, plenty.
Thank you. So I cannot see more comments. We commented also, everything here is already, and lots of good ideas. Estonia Rural Network Unit says thank you for Latvia. I think this webinar will be popular. I looked numbers for this Finnish Smart Village webinar, and for today it's more than 235 followers already. So you can find also this link. But we will keep our eye and look for next inspirations also with our neighboring countries, knocking to the door and ask that let's inspire us, Lithuania, maybe Denmark, maybe Poland, maybe whatever, and open for different kind of cooperation. So again, thank you all. If somebody here to say something, okay, we will put on presentations and also link today, and also link for previous activities to our website where you had registered. And thank you again for all presentations, and stay in your health, and all the best for your country. So let's finish here and see you online or face to face. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.